Hello everyone! In the previous video, we have discussed about what is transformer. Now in this video, we are going to discuss about different types of transformers. So let's get started. So here you can see there are many different types of transformers. The most common type of transformer that we use in our daily life is core-type transformer, which is also known as shell-type transformer. In this type of transformer, the core is made up of thin sheets of high silicon steel or laminated steel, and it is placed inside a tank which contains an insulating oil. This type of transformer is used in low-voltage applications where large amount of current is required. For example, power distribution transformers which are used in our home. This is the example of core-type transformer, and the main advantage of this type of transformer is that they are very efficient because the losses are very less in this type of transformer, and these transformers are also very compact and require very less space. But the disadvantage of this type of transformer is that they cannot be used for high voltage application. Now let's move towards the second type of transformer, and that is shell-type transformer. This is also known as core-type transformer. In this type of transformer, the windings are placed inside a tank which contains an insulating oil, and the core is placed outside the tank. This type of transformer is used in high voltage applications where small amount of current is required. For example, power transformers which are used in our power stations. This is the example of shell-type transformer, and the main advantage of this type of transformer is that they are very easy to maintain, and the winding can be removed from the transformer without disturbing the core. But the disadvantage of this type of transformer is that they are not very efficient because the losses are more in this type of transformer, and they are also very bulky and take up a lot of space. Now let's move towards the third type of transformer, and that is auto transformer. In this type of transformer, the primary and secondary windings are both connected to the same iron core. An auto transformer has only one winding, but different portions of this winding acts as primary winding and secondary winding. Here you can see the primary winding is connected to the supply and the secondary winding is connected to the load. When the primary winding is connected to the supply, a current flows through the primary winding as well as a portion of the secondary winding. This is called as self-excitation, and this is the main working principle of auto transformer. This is the example of auto transformer, and the main advantage of this type of transformer is that these are very simple to construct, and they are also very efficient because the losses are very less in this type of transformer. But the disadvantage of this type of transformer is that these cannot be used in high voltage applications, and the primary and secondary windings cannot be isolated from each other. Now let's move towards the fourth type of transformer, and that is isolation transformer. In this type of transformer, the primary and secondary windings are electrically isolated from each other. It means that there is no direct connection between the primary and secondary windings. Here you can see the primary winding is connected to the supply and the secondary winding is connected to the load. The function of an isolation transformer is to isolate the load from the supply, and it provides a galvanic isolation between the primary and secondary circuits. This is the example of isolation transformer, and the main advantage of this type of transformer is that these are very safe to use because the primary and secondary windings are electrically isolated from each other, so if there is a fault in the secondary circuit, it will not affect the primary circuit. But the disadvantage of this type of transformer is that these are very expensive compared to other types of transformers, and these are also very bulky and take up a lot of space. Now let's move towards the fifth type of transformer, and that is instrument transformer. An instrument transformer is a transformer which is used to measure the voltage and current in a circuit. There are two types of instrument transformers, and that is current transformer and potential transformer. Current transformer is used to measure the current in a circuit, and potential transformer is used to measure the voltage in a circuit. Now let's discuss about current transformer. A current transformer is basically a current measuring device which gives an output proportional to the input current. The input current flows through the primary winding, and the output current is measured in the secondary winding. The turns ratio of primary winding to secondary winding is always kept as 1 to 100 or 1 to 200. This is the example of current transformer and the main. Advantage of this type of transformer is that these are very accurate and can measure very small values of current. But the disadvantage of this type of transformer is that these are very expensive compared to other types of transformers. Now let's discuss about potential transformer. A potential transformer is basically a voltage measuring device which gives an output proportional to the input voltage. The input voltage is applied between the primary winding and the output voltage is measured in the secondary winding. The turns ratio of primary winding to secondary winding is always kept as 1 to 100 or 1 to 200. This is the example of potential transformer, and the main advantage of this type of transformer is that these are very accurate and can measure very small values of voltage. But the disadvantage of this type of transformer is that these are very expensive compared to other types of transformers. Now let's move towards the sixth type of transformer, and that is power transformer. Power transformers are used to transfer electrical power from one circuit to another without changing the frequency. They are mostly used in AC circuits. Power transformers are mainly classified into two categories, and that is step-up transformer and step-down transformer. Step-up transformer is used to increase the voltage, and step-down transformer is used to decrease the voltage. Here you can see this is the example of step-up transformer, and this is the example of step-down transformer. The main function of power transformer is to match the voltage of the generator with the transmission line. Now, let's move towards the seventh type of transformer, and that is distribution transformer. Distribution transformers are used to distribute electrical power from one place to another. These transformers are mostly used in low-voltage applications. The main function of a distribution transformer is to step down the voltage from the transmission line to a lower voltage which can be used in homes and industries. Here you can see this is the example of distribution transformer. Distribution transformers are generally of two types, and that is single-phase transformer and three-phase transformer. Single-phase transformers are used to supply power to residential customers, and three-phase transformers are used to supply power to industrial customers. Now, let's move towards the eighth type of transformer, and that is rectifier transformer. Rectifier transformers are used in rectifier circuits to convert a C to DC. The output of the rectifier transformer is a pulsating DC waveform. To get a pure DC waveform, a filter circuit is used after the rectifier transformer. Here you can see this is the example of rectifier transformer. Now let's move towards the ninth type of transformer, and that is welding transformer. Welding transformers are used in welding machines to produce high current for welding. The primary winding of the welding transformer is connected to the supply, and the secondary winding is connected to the welding rod. When the switch is closed, a high current flows through the secondary winding, which produces a magnetic field. This magnetic field is used to weld the two pieces of metal. Here you can see this is the example of welding transformer. Now let's move towards the 10th type of transformer, and that is variable transformer. A variable transformer is also known as auto transformer. In this type of transformer, the number of turns in the primary and secondary winding can be varied. By varying the number of turns, the voltage can be varied. Here you can see this is the example of variable transformer. I hope you have enjoyed this video and you have learned something new in this video. If you have liked this video, then please hit the like button and do share this video with your friends. And if you have any queries or questions, then please comment down below. Thank you and have a nice day.